Hi everyone, welcome to our 23rd video for the Back to Basics teacher training program. You've stayed with me this long. I hope that you have already watched videos 1 to 22. There will be 32 videos altogether. We've already covered into book 6. And we've got a long way to go, so get your notepad out and we'll get busy. The last video we did, we talked a little bit about reminders for little props that you need for teaching. And today I was thinking more of a philosophical approach. We're going to discuss book 6 and try to get into book 7. But I was thinking about the meaning of a teacher. What does it mean to you? What is a teacher? I've asked this before in live teacher training groups that I've had. I've asked this question before, and my answers have been something like, well, a piano teacher is somebody who teaches the children how to read notes. Well, yes, that's part of it, but certainly not my definition of a teacher or a piano teacher. Another teacher said someone who teaches children to love music. And that's good. It's vague, but it's good. Because yes, if they don't love music, if they don't love to listen to music, they're not going to be very interested in the piano. So it takes the desire of the child to want to learn, but what is it that makes a good piano teacher? Think about that. Think about what your answer would be. You know, the great Indian dramatist and poet, Khalil Gibran, he told us that whoever would be a teacher of men and women, let him begin by teaching himself before teaching others. Because to teach yourself, one who would teach himself would be more worthy of respect. That's a very interesting saying. Whoever would be a teacher of men, let him begin by teaching himself before teaching others. That saying has stuck in my brain for a long, long time. And you know, we're always still teaching ourselves, aren't we? We really are. We have to know our repertoire. We have to know what we're doing. Can you play book 10? Can you play book 6, 7, 8, 9, 10? How many pieces in there have you memorized? Oh, well. Have you bought the books? Have you got the books yet? Because you can't really learn how to do that without the books, can you? By the way, all of the books, in case people are just tuning into this, all of my books are available through J.W. Pepper. Back to Basics, Piano Method by Marlene Moore. And if you've just tuned in, I hope that if you are a piano teacher or you want to be a piano teacher, that you will join our Facebook group. It's called Back to Basics Piano Teacher Training Group. And you pick up a lot of points. And I hope that you will contribute to the group if you do that. It's one thing to join a group. It's quite another to contribute to the group. And that's what I have been encouraging the teachers to do. Let your students play for us when you can. That would be nice. But getting back to the idea of a teacher, a piano teacher, what is your job? What does your job entail? Is it just to teach notes on a page? Is it just to teach down here how to play, how to lift the fingers, how to play scales, how to teach theory? That to me is just what is the physical aspects of it. To me, to be a teacher The job of a teacher is to inspire your students to learn. I read so many of these things on the pedagogy sites, and it says, I can't stand having parents in my studio. Why? You have to teach them too. That's your job. You need to inspire these parents too. You need to inspire the students. That's your job. You need to make it exciting and motivational. You need to inspire yourself. If you're not inspired, your students will not be inspired. So think about ways in which you can inspire your students. Hopefully, I am inspiring you to learn more, to dig in there and learn more. Because, I've lived a long, long time. I'm old now. And one thing I have learned is that life is a learning process. We need to keep learning. I'm still learning. I'm writing a symphony. I'm still learning how to do that. I'm learning how to motivate you better in these videos. And this is because I'm motivated to do it. So if I'm motivated to inspire you, what will you have to do to inspire your students? I know that most of you are inspirational. I know that most of you are very, very good teachers. It would be nice if you could share some of your inspirational ideas with our group. That would be great too. Okay, speaking of inspiration, I don't know if you've ever seen this before. I've had it on Facebook, but it's about how to teach sight reading the old way and the new way. I'm going to put that up. The top part is the old way, the traditional teaching way, where you have to teach them every good boy deserves fun, FACE, good boys deserve fun always, and the rhythm and the everything. And sometimes your book looks like that. Mine used to, from my first teachers. Is that how you teach? Because that's not the way we teach in Back to Basics. If you look at the second diagram on the bottom, you will see that this is the new way. How we teach sight reading. First of all, there is a row here of notes and the keyboard, and that is called identification through sound. In other words, we're hearing the sound before we're seeing it up on the staff. Make sure that your ear training is part of the sight reading. The second part is rhythm. The historical approach that we talked about in the last video. The rhythm is introduced next. Identification through sound is first. Rhythm is the second part. The third part is actually the names of the symbols. And you notice we're not talking about E, G, B, D, F. We are talking about actually the names of each note. And they have a name, like my name is Marlene, your name is. That's the way we do it. We're not going into having little colored balls on the keys or colored keyboards. Keep it simple. Keep it simple for your students. Okay? All right. Before I get into the rest of Book 6, I just want to remind you that the Performing Without Fear book, it's like a textbook. It's a big one, 220 pages with large print, is also our Back to Basics manual. It tells you how and why I began to develop the Back to Basics program, how it is different, how it was conceived, how it was received, and how it is growing. every day. And if you really want to understand about Back to Basics, you need to read this book, Performing Without Fear. It is mostly to do with stage fright, how to help your students through stage fright, how to help yourself through stage fright, but it is also to do with the philosophy and the methodology of Back to Basics. I hope you will read this. It is very, very important to your self-education so that you can be a teacher of inspiration. So we're going to get on with book 6 today. We actually left off at page 20, and that takes us to German dance. So have you got your books ready? Because I cannot focus the camera on me and the keyboard and the books at the same time. So this takes us to German dance, page 20 in book 6. Is that familiar to you? Okay, how do we teach that? It's not hard. I usually teach this one as a sight piece, not always as a rote piece. It's allegretto, but you can slow it down. I would call that step 1. Put your stop sign in there. And you can even put a stop sign there in the middle of a phrase if you want to, but you can keep going too. Have you figured out which one of your students are auditory learners? Which one of them are kinesthetic learners? They like to touch, they have to look down here and they need to touch. Which ones are visual learners? Have you figured out if you are a auditory or a visual learner? Usually the kinesthetic learners go with auditory, but not always. You can have a kinesthetic learner that is also very visual, but they need to look here and they need to feel more. It's something about the tactile touch and the sound going together. That's as best I can explain it. Arabesque is a piece that makes a great recital piece. Arabesque by Burgmüller. Hear the ritardando there? And so on. I won't play it all, but that's a fun piece, and it's teaching these chords, these A minor chords, so beautifully. Don't forget to teach your A minor scale in the beginning. By now, they should be starting to do scales with both hands. Depending on their ability, some students are not ready for a long time to put scales hands together. Chords, right? It'd be a good time to teach the A minor triad. I hope you have what's called the Brown Book, or some equally wonderful kind of technique book that covers scales, triads, 4-note forms, dominant sevenths, diminished sevenths, double thirds, and everything in between. You need that book for yourself and for your students. So I would have them play this left hand first. It's fun to learn first. Diddle-diddle-dum, 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 diddle-diddle-dum. Do you sing the right hand while you play the left hand? Do you teach students how to do that? That can be very inspirational. I don't sing well at all, but diddle-diddle-dum will do it. Diddle-diddle-dum, 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 diddle-diddle-dum. It's terrible, I know, but it's okay. It's okay because it's putting the rhythm in there. Or you can play the right hand, have the student play the left hand. Have fun teaching this. Break it into little steps. Teach it by rote or by sight. At this stage, it's okay to teach it either way. Go with the way the student learns. And as I said in the last video, if they are visual learners, don't try to make them into auditory learners, but give them a lot of ear training. And that's done through the book called Making Melodies. It's done through improvisation and everything else in between. Teach them how to listen. This page is called Finish the Melody, and that's from our Making Melodies one. And it's just a taste of what the Making Melodies book is all about. This one's kind of fun. You put the left hand in, you finish writing out the rest of the piece on the manuscript paper that's here. Aria. This is a sad piece and rather dramatic, but beautiful, by Danielle Seabilt. And then the left hand has the melody after that. It's a lovely, I like it with the pedal. I don't know if we're supposed to do a Baroque piece like this with the pedal. I do it anyway. Do you like the pedal? You don't have to. You can teach it your own way. Teach the children how to listen to that piece, how to do their A minor scales, chords, arpeggios. They can do arpeggios at this stage. Do you know how to teach arpeggios? I hope so. Do you know that you could swivel the third finger, getting the thumb under, keep the elbow in place, swivel the third finger, move the wrist that way. I'm going to show you again. Swivel, thumb under. We're doing a lot of this. Do you see why the wrist is so important, even from the beginning, when we're doing our peanut butter exercises? Right to the legato idea of, if you want to get good at arpeggios, you need to get that wrist very, very fluid. Here's another one on Finish the Melody. Then they finish it. And they're going to be able to go da, da, da at this point. Put a left hand with it. Children can do that at this level. Most of them can. I forgot the little Telemon dance here. This is I always teach it as a sight piece. It's probably best done hands separately at the beginning. Most of us know that one. It's just a little sight piece. And a little lullaby. I wrote this one. And it's just in G major. Play your scale first. I haven't played this for a while. I would do a repeat on that. It needs it. It's just a little lullaby. Probably best done as a sight piece. Then they're going to make up their own song at the end before they get to the certificate. That certificate should be on its own page. It will be in the next edition. Again, G major. It's called Book 6 Song. And they finish the piece. Okay, that's a challenge. That's inspirational, motivational. Be sure to fill out the certificate at the end. Have fun with Book 6. It is a lot of fun. There's some good pieces in there. I think Book 6 is kind of a pivotal turning point for teacher and student, because Book 6 is now getting into the big girl and big boy stuff. They have learned their black key major scales, where they put the twosies and the threesies on. Review those before you go ahead. Read the first page to see what is required, all the scales, and which books are to be used as the complementary books, such as Music Maps Book 1, Music Maps Book 2, One-A-Day Rhythms, Making Melodies, Playwright Book 1, Playwright Book 2. And you don't need to use all the books, but if you want the student to be a good sight reader or good at anything else, it's well worth investigating the books, and then decide which students need those books. Let me just check our time here. We're doing very well. We've got probably 5 minutes left to just start into Book 7. Swiss Boy in F major. I was had another one in my head. You know that one? That's a fun one. It's a little less than a Book 6 piece, but I did that on purpose to make it more interesting so that the student thinks, well, Book 6 isn't that hard. But there are getting to be some difficult pieces here. Then a Czerny, the walking. I like Czerny. It's very good finger exercises, especially for this level. Very, very good. Do you remember we learned Tchaikovsky's song with one hand in the other book? It's also called Old French Song. Well, now it's been delayed on purpose, and they're getting to put it hands together. And we're in G minor. And so on. I think our time is about up, but I'm going to continue where we left off at Tchaikovsky's song in our next video. So stay tuned and get inspirational. Decide what it takes for you to become an inspirational teacher. Let me know. I love to hear those answers. Take care. Keep your health. Stay safe. Bye for now.